everyone, and welcome back to another crafting video. In today's video, we're gonna learn how to sublimate on a recent trending item that I've seen, and that is the jelly cups. Very similar to the beer glass cans, except for now they are coming with a plastic top and they are a solid color. So you're gonna want to make sure when you buy these that these are meant for sublimation, because sometimes there are some that are not meant for sublimation and that will not work for this project, so be sure to get a sublimation cup. Now let's get started on today's project. Now onto the materials we will be using. I'm going to first bring out my 120 gram sublimation transfer paper. I find that this weight works very well for my Epson EcoTake printer, and my favorite part about this transfer paper is that it's easily labeled as to what's the back part and what's the front part. And a tool that helps me a lot and makes these projects a lot faster is the heat resistant tape dispenser. It cuts all the pieces out for you so you don't have to do it manually. One thing that is really important to have during these kinds of sublimation projects is a piece of cloth or anything that really protects your surfaces from the heat of the cup. So since we're going to be placing down our cup, once it's done, we're going to need something to protect it. And of course, we need to protect our hands, so we have our heat resistant gloves. Taking the image I'm going to be using, I'm going to size it to the canvas that I have set up. This canvas has the measurements of the surface area that I have to work with for my project. And now that I have the sizing to my liking, we're going to make sure that we are flipping it vertically. That way we don't have to flip it when we send it to print. And since this is going to use one sheet anyways, I decided to do 2 prints of the same thing. Right off the bat, straight out of the printer, I can already see how beautiful this print came out. The colors might look dull to you, however, when working with sublimation, the colors are always printed out dull and they come out very vibrant once they're actually pressed. So now I'm just going to cut around these images, and the great thing about sublimation is that if I'm not going to be using one of these printed images, I can actually save the other one and use it for a later project because you can save these printouts. So this is the cup I will be using for today's project. As I showed you guys in the beginning, it's a white jelly style cup. I'm going to do a quick fitting of the image on the cup just to make sure that the size is to our liking before we press anything. Now that I have everything to my liking, I'm going to go ahead and start taping around my cup and the image. I like to make sure that when I slide the image over onto the opposite side that hasn't been taped, I like to hold it really tight ensuring that there is no air in between the image and the cup itself. So as you can see here, instead of doing one long strip across the bottom of the cup, I'm actually taking pieces and taping them vertically. The reason why I'm doing that is because the paper is beyond the curve of the bottom of the cup. However, the image that I actually want pressed onto the cup is still on the flat area of it. So the best way for me to do this and ensure that the image is still tightly pressed against the cup is taping vertically. I tend to find if I do a long piece across the bottom, it'll catch some air. So now that we're finishing up taping, we're going to start heating up our heat press. That way, when we're done taping, our heat press is ready to go. And now that I have everything set and the tape is all down, it's time to put it into our heat press. Before I put it into the heat press, I just like to press down on the heat resistant tape to ensure that it's still tightly and secured onto the cup. When you have a heat press like mine, we definitely have to make adjustments because the last thing I pressed on this was a 20-ounce tumbler and they are not the same size. So I like to just press down, see how it feels, and if it's really tight, start loosening it up and playing around with the sizing. After pressing the cup a few times and rotating it, it's now time to get it ready to start cooling down. So I'm going to place down my crocheted piece that I made myself, and I like to make sure that there's at least 3 layers of it in between my desk. So here we have it's freshly pressed. I like to look on the inside to see how well everything transferred over, and if everything looks even, I go ahead and let it cool down. And for me, this is the most nerve-wracking part of it all because once you remove that image, it's really hard to get it back aligned the same way it was before, and essentially you will have to work on a new piece if this did not press correctly. So it's always a good idea to just make sure that what you can't see from the outside looks good. Another good indication that you pressed correctly is that you can see the image pretty well from the backing of the paper. So as you can see, as I'm peeling away, you can actually see a really good detail of the image that was pressed onto the cup, which gives me a clear indication that it's good to go. And of course, teckwrapcraft products never fail in delivering a beautiful product. I love the attention to detail on this. The colors came out great. Thank you guys so much for following along with me on this tutorial. If you like this video, please go give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like these in the future, subscribe to our channel. Bye!